Hello and welcome to Images for the Web. I am Sandra Bermond, the Program Manager for the Duke Innovation Collab. In this video, we will take a moment to talk about copyrights and how to make sure that we have authorization to use an image. Perhaps you are a master photographer, or you make enough money to hire said master photographer and get your very own images that way. For the rest of us, though, that may not be the best route. You may be tempted, like many before you, and I'm sure many after you, to just take images on the web. However, there's this one little thing you should be aware of before you do. It's this thing called copyright. You have probably seen that some websites or images are copyrighted in the sense that they have a disclaimer saying so, or you may have seen word marks on images that protect them from would-be thieves. However, copyrights are slightly more complicated than the presence or absence of said disclaimer. In fact, just because a line of text says that something is copyrighted or a word mark is plastered on an image, it doesn't mean that it actually is. Just like the absence of such a thing doesn't mean that something isn't copyrighted. Copyright infringements can be costly and you probably want to avoid them. So what to do? Well, you should assume that everything that doesn't explicitly say that it is free to use is in fact copyrighted, because it likely is. As a creator, you do not have to do anything to have your creation be copyrighted. It is considered so by default. In fact, you have to explicitly offer your creation to be part of the Creative Commons for it to become free to use. Now, that doesn't mean that if you personally use a photo that I took and put it on your website, that I will come after you and sue you for $100,000. But do you really want to take that risk? Probably not. All that to say, if you can't make your own images, you're going to want to either purchase some on websites such as Shutterstock or directly from artists, or more than likely, you're going to want to look for images that are part of the Creative Commons. There are multiple types of Creative Commons licenses. Public domain work and public domain dedication are both free to use licenses. Public domain work contains work that may have been copyrighted at some point, but the artist died over 70 years ago and its copyright hence expired. For example, art that was created in the Middle Ages would fall in that category. It also contains work that is known to have never been copyrighted. Public domain dedication concerns more recent work that has been donated by their creator to the public domain. That is probably the type of work you will be most interested in using. When using work found under this license, you can do pretty much anything you want to it, and you do not have to credit the original artist in any way. Attribution is another common Creative Commons license. Say that one 10 times fast. Artwork within that category is considered free to use as long as you give attribution to the artist, meaning that you must credit the artist, link back to the license, and disclose whether you modified the art in any way. The attribution license has a few variants that contain the attribution share-alike, in which all work that you create using the work of another creator found under that license requires you to give attribution to the previous creator and requires that your work be under that same license. Attribution no derivatives, in which you may display the artwork of another creator as long as you give attribution, but you may not modify it in any way. And finally, attribution non-commercial, attribution non-commercial share-alike, and attribution non-commercial no derivatives, which are essentially the same as the above of the same name, with the difference that, and it's in name, you cannot use the work for commercial purposes. So to recap, anything in the public domain you can do whatever you like with, including use in product that you may make money off of, like an app or a game, for example. Anything found under the attribution license you can use wherever you like, including in products you may make money off of, as long as you give credit to the original artist. And finally, anything under the attribution non-commercial license you can use wherever you like, as long as you give credit to the original artist and that you will not be making money off of it in any shape or form. So now, you must be wondering, where in the world are we getting these free images from? Well, there are many websites dedicated to storing those images, videos, and other media. Websites like Unsplash and Pixabay are probably the most popular and contain only public domain dedication work, so you will likely want to look at those first. With that said, if you want a broader selection, I highly recommend you check out thestocks.im. That website contains a list of all other websites offering images that are either found under the Creative Commons licenses or are available for purchase. And if you didn't quite get all of that, you can find a list of resources, including those websites that I just mentioned, in the description below. To learn more about web design or to sign up for a class, please visit the Colab website at colab.duke.edu.